All right. So tonight with me, I have Jon Sugiyama of Squad Tactica on guest commentary with me. How are you doing?
Hey, I am doing very well. I'm really excited to see two incredibly fun kill teams go at it. Orks versus Harlequins is always a very spicy match.
Yeah, it is. Both of these guys have gone 3-0 so far this tournament. So it's going to be a good one, that's for sure. I don't know how you can go 3-0 in a tournament with Harlequins in this format unless you're dodging all those psychic factions. But yeah, he's made it this
Well,
far, so
I
oh,
mean,
oh,
like, there's a lot of things Harlequins can do well. I mean, they've got longer charges. You do generally come out with a model disadvantage, but you're so much more powerful on average than the standard army inside of the fight phase that if you get an early kill or you start to kind of pick apart the opponent with flesh wounds, they're just so much less effective, and you're still either denying points or scoring points and applying pressure. And on these small boards, you just got so much range. Plus, you've got your flip belts and your invulnerability save. It adds up over time in the hands of a skilled pilot. Like, I know it's a glass cannon kill team, but still, it's got a lot going for it when utilized properly. And I'm pretty confident we're going to see some of that skill and tactic used in this game.
yeah, for sure. So taking a look at the Harlequin list, we have got a looks to be. I mean, obviously it's just a bunch of players, so not really much in terms of customization for this faction. He's got a leader, a zealot, a combat specialist, and a veteran. Not really much more you can ask for out of a Harlequins list. And it looks like they are armed with Shuriken Pistol and Harlequin's Kiss for the Zealot, Harlequin's Kiss Shuriken Pistol for the Combat, and same thing for the Veteran. I believe he'll be running Frozen Stars, I think, as the sub-faction. So, pretty standard Harlequins tournament list.
Now, for those who are watching who don't know, can you tell us what the Frozen Stars subfaction bonus would be?
Yeah, I think they get like +1 attack on the charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that really matters, especially with like your combat specialist, because you've got 4 attacks base, +1 on the charge, +1 for being a combat specialist. So you're running in with 6 attacks. You've got strength +1, and I mean, like, orcs don't like those numbers I just said because they're orcs and they die really quickly to a massive amount of spammed attacks. So if you are not paying attention and you have a couple of orcs grouped up together, one of these harlequins can run up and just vaporize them really quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah. So moving on over to the Evil Sons Orcs, we've got a Gretchen leader. We've got a combat boss snob with Big Choppa and Choppa. We've got a demo specialist with combi weapon with Scorcha and Choppa. And then it looks like an ammo run and then just Orc Boys. Oh no, we do have a Knob veteran with Big Choppa and Choppa. And then the rest are just Orc Boys with Shootas. So, what do you think of these guys so far? We haven't really seen until very recently kind of a resurgence in shooty orcs competitively. How do you think they're going to perform on this map?
Yeah, I actually like shooty orcs. That's what I ran at Nova, I think. It was either Nova or Adepticon, and they perform super well. I like to use the you take a negative penalty if they're obscured. The infiltrators, those are fun, but
Oh, the commandos.
the commandos, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing I like about orcs is you have model control, which gives you the opportunity to bully your opponent off of points, because if they've got one guy and you've got 2 orcs, they have to commit 2 additional guys in order to beat you, or 1 additional guy to stop you. And you see a significant larger army compared to the Harlequins. So Harlequins have 7 models. So at any point, if you sit 2 orcs on that point, they have to commit almost half of their entire kill team to stop you from scoring and counter score, which is pretty significant So that gives you the Orks opportunities to either pivot off of points where, you're in the middle, they start rushing you, and you go, cool, let's split and go to the back points. Well, now the problem for the Harlequins is they can either commit to scoring or they can try and go for kills, but they can't do both. While Orks can 100% bully board presence. They can put down shots down lane to just pepper spray and hope to land something against, any model.
Yeah.
And if a model dies, it's not a huge point investment, and they can just commit another model to a point and continue to bully you off of, any kind of victory point scoring that you're hoping to get. So it really forces the Harlequins to just try and get kills quickly and reduce that model count, because the longer the game goes, the easier it is for the Orks to just bully points. Either like they can deny points faster than the Harlequins can, and that's the worst thing. Is like your Harlequins move, and then the Orks just show up and go, cool, we'll just put 2 guys on your one model, like on a point, and you just lose. And it's like, that's not what you want to happen.
Yeah. All right, so over here we've got the objective choices for each of these competitors. They've got domination, thin their ranks, recon sweep, attrition, cut off the head, and scout the field. Pretty good choice for the Orks, I would say. Domination would be hard to score just because of like what you were talking about with the Orks kind of just having like the advantage in bodies and being able to just take over like that middle objective with their bodies. Thin their ranks and attrition, that can be good for either of these factions. A pretty good draw here, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, what's interesting about these cards specifically is they are going to promote a lot of aggression.
Yeah.
Because Kill Team can be played in a very neutral system where you just don't attack. You just sit on points. You charge to block down models, but you don't really care if you win an attack or not. You just want your opponent to not. You're basically controlling the pace of the game. These cards are heavily sided towards, attrition at the end of the battle round, score 1 victory point. If more enemy models than friendly models were taken out, well, Orks are pretty squishy, so that's good for the Harlequins. But Harlequins, if they miss a roll, are kind of dead.
Yeah.
So both of these factions are totally okay with taking attrition because someone's gonna give, and that's a victory point, which means you're winning the game. Same thing for thin their ranks. It's gonna probably be a bloodbath, and that's kind of fun when you have killing and kill team.
Yeah, right. It's the name of the game. All right, so I'm gonna tell them that they can go ahead with their deployment, and we're gonna get things kicked off here.
Yeah, I think the Harlequin player has a much better chance to use cut off the head, especially since Gretchen are pretty squishy. Yeah. And if that Gretchen ever gets into melee combat with a Harlequin, he's probably going to die, which is, free victory points, especially with an 8-inch move and a potentially 18-inch charge with that 3d6 roll. Like, you really have to bubble wrap that Gretchen so he doesn't get vaporized. Like, if the Harlequins want to be really, really aggressive, they could probably get in there round 2. And if he dies, that's 3 victory points. That's significantly huge. That's big.
Yeah. I think in round 2 it would be... Would it be 3?
Because it's 5 minus the number of current battle rounds. Yeah. So you can only get 4 at round 1, 3 at round 2, only 2 at round 4. 3. Yeah, only 4. Which doesn't happen very frequently, but if it's going to happen, Harlequins have a pretty good shot. Or if your opponent just throws their leader in downfield with no cover, that's a thing that happens too. Not rarely, though. Or not commonplace.
Yeah.
Domination. I think Scout the Field is definitely going to be an Orc favorable card because they have the models to do it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's possible that some of the larger base models could be within an inch of the field and be within the bubble of the point. I don't have a measurement tool, but it seems probable, but I don't know exactly what the distance is.
Yeah, let me see if I can bring up a measurement tool here.
Even if you can't double dip, which would be insane, that's still like free victory points. You literally just run to the edge of the field with your extra dudes, and you're like, oh hey, I get a victory point. What about you? Oh no, haha, that sucks.
Yeah. So it looks like the edge of the point is 2 inches from, yeah, about 2 inches from the edge of the board. So I'm not sure if they would be
I
able
think they can
to.
do it.
Yeah.
Now, what about the short end? Because it looks like there's a long end and a short end on this map for the bubbles.
Oh, how do you mean?
Could be an optical illusion. So the point you measured looks
Uh-huh.
like it's longer distance from the edge than the opposite end of the table map. By like maybe like less than 0.5 inches.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Because it doesn't look like it's
it looks like it's like 0.2, or
which matters.
I might be measuring weird here. Hang on. Yeah, I think they're like just about equidistant. You know, porting over stuff like this to TTS is kind of difficult sometimes, but yeah, I see what you're saying now. It feels like it's slightly off kilter.
I've played so many games in TTS, like I can tell when it's not. It's just one of those things you kind of pick up over hundreds. I think I have like 400 or 500 hours in TTS, so you're like, oh,
Oh
that's
my
off by like
goodness.
0.3 inches, so I'm gonna abuse that and just get that victory point. I don't think it matters because all these models are supposedly on 28 mil bases, but if you had a bigger one, like a 35, you could definitely, most likely, score and be on the table edge. But regardless, since you probably can't, Orks still have the bodies to like score table edge, score points on the map, and put pressure on the Harlequins, which I'm intrigued to see how the Harleys do, because the moment they get into combat, it's going to be interesting. But if the Orks can kind of either run around or counter force controlled spots, the game will definitely be Orc favorable, I think. Unless you just like whiff rolls, then you're just, you know, DOA, and we're gonna have a bad time.
All right. So,
Ooh, Chet has a good question. Do friendly little game stores in America not have beer? Depends on the game store, actually. One
personally,
of mine's
I haven't been to any that kind of like fill that niche, but I know that they're very popular over in the UK.
yeah. In Tulsa, we had a shop that did serve alcohol. Um, Obviously everything's closed, but if they ever come back, which I hope they do, they plan on serving adult beverages, which I don't drink because I'm allergic to something in alcoholic beverages. Most people think it's the barley, but I know a lot of people enjoy that. All right, so we're gonna see the gunwall line of Orks, and this is exactly what I was anticipating. The Orks are going to like very aggressively bubble wrap this Gretchen, so it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to get assaulted turn one, if at all. And I'm assuming, I'm going to predict the future, but he's probably going to want to go first. The Orc player probably want to go first in round 2 and get that counter charge into any Harlequin that's close enough, so that way he can lock them down and keep them away from that Gretchen leader. Because once you get to round 3, losing your leader for 2 victory points isn't significantly terrible, because at that point, if you're the Orcs, you've probably scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're probably looking at like a 5 to 7 victory point total, which means you're probably above the Harlequins by like 2 to 3. So losing your leader is fine, especially if the leader is not on a victory point and they have to commit a model to that. That gives you the opportunity to just rush down the field and start putting like one model on these backfield points. You're probably going to either contest them, which denies victory points, or you're going to be able to score them because you can probably put 2 bodies on those points, and the Harlequins can't do anything because if they've got 7 models and one of them is engaging a Gretchen, they only have 6. There's 5 points on the map. If they have 1 model on each point and then a second model on any given point, the Orcs just put 2 bodies and they're scoring. So it's a weird place for the Harlequins to be, because if they overcommit for a leader kill, they might just lose board presence in that round, which they really can't afford to do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, chat. How does my audio sound now? Apparently, we've been having some technical difficulties.
It's WandaVision, man. You don't know what's going on in there.
I guess it's the first time streaming with Streamlabs tonight, so bear with us here. All right, so it looks like the Orcs, I believe, have won initiative.
ARH is blue. So what does ARH play?
Excuse me, that's the Harlequins.
Okay, so Harlequins are red, Orcs are blue. That's actually good. The Orcs do not want to go first because the Harlequins just go, cool, let's charge right into those bodies.
Yeah, right. Lucked out
So
there.
this is yeah, so what we want to see happen for the Orc player is Orcs go second, then Orcs go first in round 2.
Yeah.
Because then they go, cool, charge, reroll charge, and Harlequins definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of a Orc. Wow.
Yeah. All right.
I need these Cockney accent Orcs to be like, yeah, get them.
Yeah, get off my point, Harlequin.
Boys, shoot that thing over there. What thing over there?
The first game that I decided to boot up after building my new PC was Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, just to see how it would run, and I don't know if it's because of the new PC or if it's just because or if it just looks better on the new PC. I don't know, but it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
That game
Alright,
is so much fun.
Veteran is going to move to the center of the map, so they're going to start applying pressure, forcing the Orcs to represent. I would assume that the Harlequin player is probably going to leave one model on each back point.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And, well, I've seen a lot of Harlequin players get aggressive where they just run down the field.
Oh, okay.
They'll sacrifice 2 victory points in the hopes of destroying the opponent's field in round 2, and at that point they've got the game.
That's a valid strategy here in this instance. I mean, you're up against a faction that basically has just 6 up armor saves everywhere. Yeah. They're all equipped with the Harlequin's kisses for the most part, so that's making them all strength 4, AP 1 with a ton of attacks, D3 damage. That's a valid strategy there, just going whole hog and bum rushing these Orcs here. The thing is, they've just lost initiative, or excuse me, I should say they won initiative, but really they lost, if you know what I mean. And they just don't want to open themselves up to a charge turn 2.
Oh, yeah. So that's the thing is, you have to, especially in competitive kill team, you have to think too about rounds 2 or 3 before you ever, do much. Because realistically, like, okay, sure, the Harlequins are probably going to score 2 points on the backfield. Great. Do we know what are all 6 cards active for both players?
No. So the way this competitive packet works is one of the players will draw 6, and then from those 6, the players will choose 3. So for the Orcs, they have gone with Scout the Field, Thin Their Ranks, and Domination.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the Harlequins, they've gone with Thin Their Ranks, Attrition, and Cut Off the Head.
Okay, which is pretty much exactly what we expected, because Orcs are never going to kill the leader. That's it. So basically, those cards are very much going to hint at the strategy of what each player is going to try and do. So the Harlequins need to get downfield as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But they didn't roll super well. I saw a couple ones. Like, we have this one veteran on this point in the middle, so I think he rolled like 1 or 2 additional inches, so they got like a 9 or 10 inch move. So they're probably, if I had to guess, not going to be able to make a significant move on that Gretchen in the backfield until round 3. And you really don't want that extra victory point card, like those secondary points, to just not do anything. That feels really bad.
Yeah.
So they have to try and put pressure, and I'm sure the Orc player is fully aware of that. They're going for the leader, which means that the Orc player can play somewhat passively because they just need to score. Like, if they can like get 1 or 2 points ahead of the Harlequin player, they've got a pretty commanding control of the game. They don't have the game, but they are 100% able to take losses and still hold that lead, whereas the Harlequins can't do that.
Yeah, this is a tough board for basically an assault-oriented army like Harlequins, just because of how open it is. Especially that middle objective, there's literally no cover there, and so it's like if the veteran goes down this turn, which he very well might, I don't see why the Orc player wouldn't just put at least a significant amount of their firepower into that model, trying to get it off that objective and keep his opponent from scoring, hold more. But it's definitely tough here, especially when you win initiative turn 1.
Yeah, the other problem the Harlequin player has to think about is they have a higher chance of breaking than the Orcs do. The Orcs have a higher chance of just dying outright, which is, the Orky thing to do.
Yeah.
But over the course of the game, you only, let's see, what do they have? 7 models? So if you either remove or just mess with 4 of them, they have a high chance of just fizzling out. And then if you're an Orc player, that's like a godsend. Like leadership 8 it's okay, but it's no Necron leadership 10. There's just a lot of things that the Necron or the Harlequin player has to consider all the time, where the Orc player can kind of rest on their laurels at given points in the game. Like, they have got more bodies, they can easily just put 2 models and steal a point. They've got shooting, they've got melee, they're pretty tough, they're good in a fight. They can bubble wrap their leader significantly better than the Harlequins can, but I'm pretty confident the leader for the Harlequins is just going to sit on that back point forever with cover, which is, great.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but the really, if you play as a control player or you think in the controlling fashion, the Orc player has no need to be aggressive, and the Harlequin player has every reason to get aggressive, which, with shifting, what's the word? Initiative, can be extremely detrimental if things go the wrong way for somebody.
Yeah, so it looks like we're seeing a charge here. I don't think that's going to be enough.
Oh, I guess we're going in all the way. That makes sense, though, because you can consolidate or pile in and have your guy on the point while attacking the Zealot. Which you don't want, because since the Harlequins have all moved, there's only one guy on the point, and if you get one Orc on that point, that means if he survives, the Harlequins score nothing.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be able to pile in and consolidate, because in order to do all that, you need to make a successful charge or start out the round in combat. But
if he can get there.
Yeah. Don't Evil Sons, don't they reroll charges?
Well, all Orcs
reroll charges, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Go for it, man. Why not?
Here we go. Let's see. 9. I think he got it. I'm pretty sure that guy was 10 inches away.
Yeah. So he spent a CP there to use Here We Go, where he only rerolled 1 of the 2 charge dice. Great tactic, just period.
There we
go. Orcs have fantastic tactics in this game. So that's
really
huge. He's locked up the Zealot in combat, and he's got an Orc on the point there. If he gets 1 more on there, then he'll essentially have a good chance of locking up, or I should say blocking out the Harlequin player from scoring his domination secondary.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was talking about with the Orcs. You're going to see them sit on the outside bubble, where they have cover because of whatever's around them. But what they're gonna do is all these things in sequential words. So they're going to score points, sit in cover, shoot you.
Yeah.
That is not good, considering the Harlequins cannot do many of those things at the same time. So the Harlequins have to run into a volley of fire with a 4-up invulnerable save that's not a big deal, but eventually, you can't roll 4s indefinitely. You're going to
Yeah.
fail, and the Orc player is going to pray to, Mork and Gork that you take the flesh wound and die, or you get taken out of combat. But even if you take a flesh wound, you're still becoming less effective, which is like the worst thing that can happen to a Harlequin. Is they're all about efficiency, and taking a flesh wound is just like not great, because now you're decreasing your opportunity to be effective, you're decreasing your opportunity to kill things, but you're still a glass cannon, which feels terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's worse factions for flesh wounds to happen to, right? Just because all these players have so many base attacks, that they're all hitting on 3s to start out, so it's not like the worst with them, but yeah, it can add up over time, especially with the amount of DACA that this particular team has. As someone who's been playing rack spam this tournament, I know all about how relying on a 4-up invuln save can only get you so far, especially on a board like this. It's absolutely brutal to go up against a shooting team.
Yeah, Tau would love this map, especially
Tau
with drones.
do love this map. I'm not sure if you, or I'm sure some people in chat watched. We had streamed Biranid and Tim's game a couple nights ago, and Biranid was playing his Tau list and had he basically had the game locked up at the top of turn 2.
Yeah,
which is just insane.
Yeah, what's really fun is Tau is other than like Gellerpox and Death Guard, Tau is probably one of the better control armies in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just because you have long range presence, you have short range presence, you can use drones for screening, and if you're like trying to kill a Tau, drone just goes, "No, bro, I got to hold my beer."
Yeah.
And that's not what you want to happen, and it feels really bad because you're like, I committed all these resources, and that drone just said, "Nah, dog, I got this."
Yeah, basically. They should not be 7 points. At least not all of them should only be 7 points in Kill Team. It's absolutely ludicrous.
We could see a change with that Saturday reveal.
Oh,
Who
gosh. I that would be so funny if all they announced for Kill Team this upcoming Saturday was, yeah, we changed the points for Tau drones. That's it.
I think a lot of people.
I think a lot of people would be happy with that, honestly. Like, no, new models? Nah, forget about it. New expansion? Nah, I'll take these Tau drone point changes.
Ooh, okay. So the Orc player, I figured that they might have put a couple more models into the center, just because they're running that domination. That's obviously a very aggressive move, and hiding behind this wall is very smart because they've got cover. It increases their survivability, and I'm pretty confident that the Orc player is doing exactly what I anticipated. They're setting up for a turn 2, get the initiative, charge into the Harlequins, and lock them out. And that's really, really bad for the Harlequins. Even if the Orcs die in round 2, that just means that the Orc player can go, okay, these guys here on this backfield can just move into the middle safely and score these points. Then they score domination, additional victory points. Then they can tap into scout the field, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of victory points adding up really quickly.
Yeah. Looks like, yeah, this is the play for scout the field here. I believe his Gretchen leader is within an inch of the table edge over there.
I would be shocked if he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm sure he. I was kind of surprised when I saw that was the first model he put down, but now it's like, okay, he just wants to put it down and get it over with and lock that up.
Yeah. So if everything goes the Orc way, they're going to score 2 for the back point, 1 for domination, and then they either block the Harlequins from scoring that center point, or if they get super lucky, since they charged first and they kill, for some odd reason, they kill this Zealot, they could get an additional victory point with, they're running attrition, you said, I think?
They are running scout the field, thin their ranks, domination. So thin the ranks, they got to kill 2 or more enemy models. 2. Yeah. Was attrition an option? It was. I would almost always take attrition over thin their ranks, just because you got to kill more.
Right.
I guess it's different with
Chat
Orks,
is
though.
Chat is laughing about Tau. They're like, which is worse, Novak Necrons or Shield Drone spam? Probably Shield Drone spam.
No, easily Novak Necrons.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I guess it depends on how you look at it, because Tau Shield Drone spam is definitely the coward's way out, whereas Novak Necrons is just 72% of the time it works 100% of the time, and those are real statistics.
Comes with real Panther bits, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Chat, stay tuned for tomorrow at around 5 o'clock. We've got a little something cooked up to talk about with Novak Necrons that I think you guys will especially enjoy.
How to take them out.
No. No. No.
How to sustain. You just ignore them.
Shane and I, and
here we go.
Okay, what do we got going on here?
We got that domination
An ammo
play.
run. Yep. Here we go.
Are you really gonna shoot an ammo run? Like, oh, okay.
Would you shoot an ammo run? What do you ever do to anybody? He's just there
got that t-shirt save. Okay, so he is going for the domination play. So Orks are just firing on all gears. They're going to take points in the backfield. They're going to go for domination. They're going to go for scout the field. And I think that's really smart, because at this point, you're just kind of, whipping it out on the table and going, deal with it. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like, come on, come at me, bro. Also, ammo run providing cover is really fun.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great tactic. So,
Oi, run over there. Okay, sir.
He's just picking him up, and he's gonna catch all the shuriken bits.
Yeah, give him the yeet.
So, Harlequins, they've got battle focus, I'd assume. Is that correct? How familiar are you with Harlequins? Oh, I don't think they have battle focus. Battle focus. I think that's just an Ostriani thing.
Yeah, I don't think Harleys do. I used to play them competitively, actually, quite a bit. I had to stop because it just became either super oppressive or you die round 2, and it's like, well, let's go to lunch. I wanted more of a well-rounded experience for competitive kill team than just hyperglass cannoning. They're super fun. Like, they're so much fun to play, but there's... Chat says no. I didn't think they did.
Yeah.
If I'm going to spend a lot of money to fly out to Adepticon or Nova, I really don't want a glass cannon and risk everything on, did I get the charge? Did I get the hit? Like, I'd like a little bit more sustainability, which is why I like Gillerpox and Death Guard, because even if you whiff, they're still tough to kill. And that board presence is important.
Yeah. So the Harlequins are going to get the opportunity to put a few shots on target with their shuriken pistols. Lots of pinging going on. Yeah. Oh, what is that? Trickery and deception. Okay, so this tactic right here, this is like the Harlequin tactic. Basically what happens is the Harlequin player is going to be able to swap 2 of their models that are within X distance of each other, I believe. Mm-hmm. And once they flip, then both of these models are considered to have made a successful charge if they're in combat with their opponent. So this is not good for that Orc boy there, because since the Harlequins had won initiative this phase, or this battle round, that Harlequin player is going to be able to activate first, even though it wasn't technically charged.
I think it's okay to get that card out of the way now, because losing an Orc boy to such a powerful tactic is fine with me. Like, okay, I lost like maybe 3 points. Cool.
Yeah. And then the Orc player still has 2 models on that point there, so it's not like it's not like the worst thing. But if I'm the Harlequin player, I want my Zealot to be alive.
Well, and that's kind of the thing I was saying earlier, is the Orc player is forcing the Harlequin player to commit resources. You have to spend your tactic now. You have to spend your command points now. You have to spend all of these abilities now, because if you don't, he's just going to snowball out of control. And when you get to round 3 and you're down by like 4 or 5 points, you can't come. There's no way to come back from that. You're just out of the game. And Orks really want to snowball as quickly as possible, because if their models start falling off, they significantly lose board presence and the ability to bully and control the state of the game. And Harlequins 100% capitalize on weaknesses such as that, and they can just wreck your day, and you really can't afford to let that happen. So I think that was a really wise play from the Harlequin player. Now, we could see an Orc Boy t-shirt save. We could see Harlequin just whiff. Like, there's a lot of things that could go right. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and that's what makes the game so fun, is seeing how everything plays out here.
Yeah. All right. So this demo boss knob with the combi Scorcha is looking to draw a bead on that Zealot Specialist, which now is kind of literally out of the frying pan and into the fire. For that particular model, it had just ran away from the Orc Boy, basically, and now it's opened itself up to getting flamed by the combi, by a combi Scorcha with a demo bonus, nonetheless. So
yeah,
that's
that feels
not,
real bad.
That feels real bad, yeah.
And that's, once
Harlequin
again,
player has used Fire and Fade here with their combat specialist, just to kind of move over. I'm not entirely sure as to why. I almost.
So why don't you tell us what that does?
Yeah, so I mean the Harlequin, it shot its Shuriken pistol, so for 1 command point, the Harlequin player is able to just make a basic move again. Ashiani and Drakari also have this tactic. Yeah, alright, so here we see the incoming shots from the boss knob demo spec. Looks like it's just going into the... Oh, going into the Zealot and into the combat specialist, who just fire and faded.
I think that's wise.
Splitting the attacks here.
Yeah, you want to use that demolition bonus where if you hit, you get an extra +1 to wound, and
right.
Like being able to vaporize a Harlequin right now is like you desperately want to put 2 models on the back foot. Oh, not when you roll a 1.
Yeah, so I think that was just number of hits. That's only 1.
Because the combi weapon, yeah.
Definitely a wound.
Ooh,
Does
oh
not
boy.
make the save.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, here comes the injury roll. Probably needing a 5 to take it out of action if it's the Zealot, and it's a 6.
It's a 6. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that the game is over, but that was a very, very significant blow to the Harlequin player.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this was the same model who he just basically tried to save by taking him out of combat with trickery and deception.
Here's the other problem. It wasn't just that model in particular. It was the fact that the Harlequin player needs to load up the field where the Gretchen is, and he just lost 1 of 2 models.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty confident now he will not get to that Gretchen until at least round 3 or round 4, if he even gets the opportunity to do such.
Yeah,
and
if I'm the Harlequin player, I'm gonna start playing like I'm gonna be short 3 points.
Yeah,
by the end of this game.
That's really bad, because we've been talking about that this entire time. Like, you take that secondary objective, you need to score it. If you lose that model, how do you plan on scoring it? There's 5 orcs in your path. I don't even know if he's in 18 inches of the Gretchen. So yeah, Taka.
All right.
It's just like super painful what just happened there.
Yeah, so he's spending 1 CP for Daka. So now he's gonna be able to shoot again with that boss knob demo.
Yeah.
Once again, Orks... 1 shot.
Hey man, 1 shot just killed a model. All he needs is 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
He's more like a sniper spec with this flamer.
All right,
so 5 again.
All right, let's see what this 3
misses the
fails.
4 up again.
All right, does he get it? Do we see another mod? Nope, he rolls a 1 flesh wound. Thank goodness.
right?
That's probably a concede in a tournament at that point. If you lose 2 models like that, it's just, oh, hi. Because I mean, think about it. You're down to 5 models. You have no board presence. Because I mean, like 2 of your models are on the back, so you only have 3 in the midfield. You're never gonna score a point, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
If
all right.
if you're able to get the rest of your models into combat against orcs especially, and they're able to inflict a lot of damage by the end of the game, you could see the orc team break, and that's when you can kind of swing it and come back. So I don't think
This
the
is
game
true.
would have been over in that case, but I mean, it's obvious that the Harlequin player is starting on a back foot here. With the cut off the head secondary and now the zealot being killed.
Yeah, if the orcs kill another model, they get a victory point,
That's right.
which is pretty gnarly. All right, looks like we're shooting backfield
Yeah.
to backfield here.
Gonna get 2 shots here, no doubt hitting on 6s. Nothing.
So no cover, but more than half the distance. So yeah, 4s and 5s aren't, or 4s and 3s aren't going to cut it.
That Harlequin player is gonna take a shot into the ammo run. Looks like it missed.
Wow, that was a really spicy combi Scorcha. Like, those things are scary.
They are,
That
right?
that knob just paid for his points. Like, he just became like VIP.
Yeah. MVP.
All right, here we go. Shooting into this veteran who is just wide out in the open, singing their song of freedom. Rolls a 3. Wait. Oh, they're rolling a scamming
What does
shots.
this orc boy have? That orc boy there has got a shooter. Oh, I think he threw a stick bomb at him.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah. Is he within 6? He is within 6.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is within 6.
Yeah, so this is going to be 3 shots. 2 hits, I think? Oh, just the
6
one.
hits.
Just the one.
All right.
That's a wound.
4 to wound. Here we go for
Does
a 4th
not
save.
make
2.
the save, so needing
Oh my
a
lord.
3
He's
here.
3 to kill. Here we go. Oh my
It's
gosh.
another dead Harlequin. Wow.
What is happening?
Orcs are off to a strong start here.
Oh man, Mork and Gork, they're just throwing a party up in heaven, I guess. Oh my gosh, this. Okay, so let's pivot and talk about the Harlequin player, because they're at a disadvantage, but they have a couple outs. So, like, if they lose another model, I'm very confident that it's probably over, especially if they take this leader out. But here's what could happen: you have a Harlequin in the middle with this orc boy. They could potentially kill the boy and set up for going first in round 2, and then they charge into the knob and the ammo run and lock them down. And then what you can do is the Harlequin here on the leader side, since there's not really great ways to explain the board, they could also countercharge into the 2 orcs on the backfield, lock them down. If they get a kill, they can either contest, or if they kill both of them, score that point, which means the orcs can't shoot into them.
Yeah.
The leader side, for the Gretchen side of the map, is just not looking good. I think that this combat specialist should abandon it and go into the boss knob so they can just kill them in round 2.
Yeah.
And that forces the orcs to have to reallocate resources into the middle, because if they take the knob and the ammo rent out, now they have free reign to start charging into the backfield and really putting pressure on the Gretchen, which the orcs don't want that to happen. So now you're trying to take the reins of the pace of the game instead of just watching it from the sidelines.
Yeah. I just want to say here, I believe the Harlequin player has taken 3 shots with shuriken pistols so far this turn, and each hit roll has been a 1.
Yeah, the dice have been really cold, unfortunately, for the Harley player, and it feels bad.
All right, so this orc boy is going to shoot into the player on the corner here.
All right, here we go. 5 out of 6.
That looks like a shot, or at least it's 2 hits.
6 hits. Like, 1 gets. All right, here we go.
That's 2 wounds. Makes
4
1
passes.
save.
1 saves. Here we go. Nope,
It's another
just a
flesh
wound.
wound.
But that matters. That flesh wound really matters. Like,
Yeah.
This is just like attrition.
They're getting shot up here.
Yeah. See, that's kind of what I was saying with the super aggressive play is it might have been in the Harlequin's best move to just go forward because these models on the back points are getting lit up anyways. But at least if they're a little bit downfield, if they survive, you've got 7 incoming models on charges. Orcs can't survive that. There's just no way they're going to be okay. Something's going to die. All right, looks like this Orc boy is shooting into this backfield Harlequin, or is he going for the combat specialist?
He's only got 18-inch range.
It's a lot of range.
He would be able to hit the combat specialist if he's able to draw line of sight. And I think he is. Didn't make anything there. So I think the Orc salvo is finally finished. And we're going to go into the combat phase here. Very successful, yeah. What was it? 2 models taken out of action. 1 has taken a flesh wound. And the Orcs have lost nothing. If this Orc
survives, that's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Harlequins are not going to score that center point, so they're going to get, 2 points to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 points.
Yeah,
that's a
huge.
Rough start. Oh, look. Hey, look. 6s, 5s, and 4s. I'm pretty sure those hit.
Wow.
6s and 5s. All right. Orc boy's got 3 t-shirt saves. Good luck, man. Yeah.
So it's the weapon, the Harlequin's Kiss, is AP1. So the armor just goes right through, and it still resulted in only a flesh wound. So that's disappointing. On a D3 weapon too, man. The Harlequins are getting very bad dice here.
Oh, ay. Yeah, strength +1, AP -3. Just woof. Well, he only had the embrace. The kiss was on the characters that died. All right, Orcs coming in hard. Let's see if he gets a wound here. All right, Harlequin player has to roll a save. Needs a 4, gets a 5. Totally safe. So that feels good. You don't want to die to an Orc in round 1. So at this point, Orc scores 6, and Harley scored 2 if my math is correct. So for those watching, the Orcs have 1 point. They've got 2 points. They have more points than their opponent, so that's 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
They have the field edges, so that's a victory point. They have domination, where they have more guys in the middle, which is another point, and they kill 2 models, which is a third and final point for 6.
Yeah,
basically Harley's have the 2 back points.
Basically a perfect, almost perfect turn 1 for the Orcs here.
Yeah, I mean, you
on this board you can't ask for anything better, right? Because it's not like you're going to be able to deny hold 2 on this board. Jeez. Yeah, brutal start here for the Harlequins. They gotta win initiative here, right? Going into turn 2.
If they don't win initiative, I would not be surprised if we see a scoop. I mean, I say that, but the odds are just so unfavorable for the Harlequin to survive, because at this point, the boss knob charges, the Orc boy so you can't shoot them with your pistols, and that player is not going to survive 2 Orcs charging in. It's just not going to happen, especially with this boss knob. He's got he's a beefy guy. He's a big boy. Mm-hmm. He's got the chunky.
Yeah, he's got 2 wounds, man.
I mean, yeah, he's got. Let's see, what is he? He's rocking a choppa. He's strength 5.
All right, so Harlequins have won the initiative here by 1 point.
All right, so this is desperately what they need. But the problem they have is they only have 2 models to charge, which is not great.
I mean, they've got that 18-inch charge range, right?
Oh my gosh, it's 16.9. It's possible.
Yeah, right. Do you just go all in here? I think you do. You're down by so much. You gotta go in and you gotta kill everything.
So if I'm the Orc player, and you charge my Gretchen, I'm just gonna run my orc boys down to your backfield and steal it from you. So it's like, cool, you got my
Oh,
Gretchen.
I'm not even talking
I've
about
got
charging the Gretchen. I'm just talking about charging anything and trying to get
any
and just trying to stack bodies and hope to break the orcs.
what choice do you have?
Yeah.
You don't. It looks like he's pinging this wall of orcs here in the back, and the leader. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So if he whiffs the charge, he can still hit these orcs that are like, looks like within like 6 or 7 inches. So they should hit, especially with 3d6, unless you roll triple ones, which I have seen, but is not likely to happen here.
Oh gosh. Why you gotta jinx him like that, man?
No, he'll
He's
be fine.
already...
He'll be fine. He's already had enough bad rolls. The Harlequins are probably gonna like god roll everything this round, and the orcs are gonna go, oh, that's a thing. Yeah, the Harlequin player desperately needed to get initiative, which they did, which is great, because now the orc player has to sweat a little bit, not charging that last orc boy. Okay. You're gonna see. Oh yeah, Gretchen retreating, very very smart. Absolutely a ingenious move because that forces an 18-inch charge, which is very unlikely. So increasing the opportunity of surviving. The rest of the orcs are probably fine. They want to get into fisticuffs, man.
Yeah. All right, here comes the Overwatch from the combi.
Fail.
And now
Okay,
the auto hitting profile. Or
here we
actually, no, it just
go.
saves.
Look at that. 10 inches. That's huge. That's a big range there. So you can't get the leader, but you can get pretty much anything you want at this point, realistically.
Yeah. There's a
And
lot
what's
of tempting
important is
targets here.
there is, but I think what you need to do is lock down those 3 orcs because that's 3 things the orc player cannot do.
Yeah.
The knob and the ammo runt are already on the point, so they don't really care because they're just going to sit on that point as long as you let them. Attacking the backfield orc on the point probably doesn't matter because you'll just get countercharged by 3 orcs, which you don't want to happen. Yep, there you go. So trying to lock down 2 threats, very good.
Yeah. Notably not locking down that veteran with the big choppa, which is pretty scary. He's played a tactic that is unfamiliar to me. Blade of Segarok, I believe is how you excuse my pronunciation of these made-up words.
Just add a little bit of a to your
Yeah.
pronunciation, it'll be fine. The blade of no one will question that. So what does it do? So
Yeah,
those of us who are
I'm
watching
bringing up the annual right now. Let's
probably
see
says
here.
something like when Harlequins lose 2 models to orcs, they get like a +6 bonus on all rolls.
I somehow doubt that. Harlequin's tactics.
You never know.
Okay.
So this player is doing the other thing I said. They're going to charge this wall of orc boys. So he is going to try and lock them down, which you have to do. There's there's nothing better than removing options from a player, especially when they want to control the center of the board and you're denying them that option, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. Okay, so this tactic, Blade of Segarok, use this tactic in the movement phase immediately after making a charge roll of 10 up for a model from your kill team. Until the end of the battle round, add 2 to the attacks characteristic of that model. So that combat specialist has 4 attacks base, +1 from the combat specialist, and then +2 from the tactic.
Doesn't get +2 for being a frosty elf?
Oh, it also gets +1 from being frozen stars. Yes, you're right. I think so.
Yeah, so see these 8 attacks coming in, orcs? Daka Daka? I can do that too, man. Alright, so
here's
we got
another
the
charge.
Yep. What did he? He got
Uh,
a 9,
10,
so
9.
putting 2 people... So he's probably going to go for this knob.
Yeah, that looks like what he's loading up on. If I was him, I think I would have put that combat specialist kind of like right behind the veteran, the orc veteran knob there. Just
Yeah,
because
I
it's
agree.
like you've got two models on two models when realistically you had the option to lock up one, two, three, four, five, six,
Yeah,
seven of the orc models. And it's like if you
yeah,
do that,
yeah.
you're forcing the other models to either come off the board edges or come off the objectives. I mean, you're not really, but you're just getting the max amount of value. Like hypothetically, they can wipe out all those orcs. They're just orcs. You've
Right.
got a
The big
million
thing
strength
is,
4 attacks at AP1 with D3
yeah.
damage. Like you got it, man.
Well, you're denying activations, you're denying resources, and you're denying control, which that's the orcs' biggest strong point right now is they have so much control. But if you can remove that advantage, now you begin to shift things into your favor, and you can start to slowly take back the course of the game. Because I mean, like being down 4 victory points, that is a very difficult detriment to come back from. It is possible, absolutely, but you as the Harlequin player have limited means of scoring points. Like these back points are probably going to be one model for the entire game, which means you've only got 3 models moving in the front lines, and the orcs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 models moving in the front lines. That's
Yeah.
a significant shift in numbers. Chat's asking you, does Command Point have a Discord? They believe they heard it's
Yeah,
a great place to learn Kill Team.
we sure do. Let me get the link and I'm going to post that in chat.
Yeah, absolutely a wonderful place to hang out and learn all about Kill Team. I still think the Orc player is in a commanding place, just due to the fact that they have bodies. Mostly because the veteran can do whatever he wants. That's a scary place.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
really scary place to be.
Especially with that big choppa, the +2 strength that's boosting him up to strength 6. So wounding any Harlequin on a 2. It's
Yeah.
like that. I can't believe he kind of just like let that model off the hook there.
I think the Orc player is going to be a bit of a tool. No offense, but that's what Orcs do. I think this Orc boy with the flesh wound is going to fall back so that he can just shoot into this 4 player that has like no cover or anything, and hope to wipe him off the board. Which that's something that my friend who played Imperial Guard liked to do when I would charge into them. Is they'd run back and be like, "Oh, by the way, I can still shoot you," and I'm like, "Oh, no,
Yeah,
please."
yeah, yeah. As soon as I
Tell
saw,
me.
as soon as I saw that Ultramarines in Big 40K were able to do that, I was like, yeah, I think I like these guys.
All right, since we're not in chat with the players, it looks like it's the Orc players' movement phase, which we're going to yeah, okay. So they are moving. Yep, he is falling back exactly as we anticipated. So we're going to put this Orc boy on the point, which is what you want. We're going to move him out of combat, which doesn't matter because he's an Orc boy with a flesh wound. But he's doing exactly what you want: scoring points, bullying the Harlequin player. But now you've got a Harlequin that is just sitting there who can't do anything and could very likely get shot off, especially if these orcs in the backfield here just ready.
Yeah, right.
I would not be surprised, honestly, if they all 3 just ready, because they're basically scoring 2 victory points right there by just doing nothing.
Yeah.
Which is feel bad moment.
The player does have a plasma grenade, so very possible that it's able to take out both the ammo run and the orc boy on the point here. But you're risking yourself to all that orc boy fire coming from the
If they survive
from that bottom
3
left
rounds.
objective. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I was saying earlier when we first started. Like, the orcs have no incentive to move. They don't need to move downfield. They don't need to put pressure on the Harlequins. They don't need to do anything because they can just score points, ready, shoot, Daka Daka, and the Harlequin player is like just getting a lot of aggression thrown at them.
Yeah.
And they have to find a way to respond. This is the puzzle is in the hands of the Harlequin player. If they can figure it out, they can absolutely win. But the orcs are kind of in easy mode, honestly. Like, they can just sit and shoot and force the Harlequin player to respond. And unless they get bad dice rolls, they have a really strong opportunity here to just almost lock out the Harlequins. Because if they lose that guy in the middle point, they could just try to stay in combat for the rest of the game. And at that point, those two backfield Harlequins have to move up, and then the Orks just are snowballing so far out of control, it's ridiculous.
All right. So the Harlequin player did ping that player on the middle objective. We're yet to see them do anything.
You rolled a 6? What's this about?
I'm not entirely sure.
Darkness Incarnate rolls. Okay, so it looks like they're shooting into the player. Oh, he's charging.
Oh, he was firing Overwatch. Oh,
wow.
he hit that Overwatch shot, right? On a 6? Was it a failed
Yeah, but
wound?
he rolled a 3. Yeah. Okay. See, that's the thing. I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So now we're just cycle charging here.
Look at that. Okay, I absolutely approve. This is an aggressive play for the Orks to get better board position, because he's fully aware if that player dies, all he has to do is like cross reference the back point where the player is, not the leader, and this game is just like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna send your leader into combat with an Ork and like abandon the point? Probably not. Ooh, these are some spicy moves here.
How much CP does the Ork player has 2 CP left?
Oh man, you know what he might do? He might pop a CP to make this boss knob attack first in combat.
Yeah, 2 CP for decisive strike. I can see that.
Oh baby, because the unfortunately the Harlequin player does not have 2 command points.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this game. This is why I love Kill Team. There is so much going on, and you have so many options and things that can happen. Yep, he's going back to the back point. Yeah, I think he's giving. No, is he giving up the 1-inch edge?
I think he is. He'll have to bring back the what do you call it? The deployment zone, because I think he's a little bit inside his own deployment zone, like halfway.
I don't hate this idea, because what he can do is he can reallocate this Ork boy on the Gretchen side of the field, and he can either run him down and start putting shots into the player on the backfield, or he can reallocate everything into the center, because the moment the Ork player wins the center, the game's over. Like, there's just nothing you can do if the Orks have like 5 models and your guys are dead.
So I think that model may still be able to score, because it says models wholly within your deployment zone do not count unless they are within 1 inch of a battlefield edge that does not extend beyond your deployment zone. Since that model I don't believe is wholly within the deployment zone, and it's partially out of the deployment zone, it should be able to score scout the field. And then also, like, he doesn't really need to score scout the field this turn, right? With a 6-2 lead, this game's going to come down to the scrum that's going on in the middle of the board here.
See, I'm not a very aggressive player if I don't have to be. Oh, okay, so he is charging with the veteran. Like, I absolutely would charge with the veteran. That's just strong. But what I would do, personally, is I would take these 2 Ork boys on the outer side of the field, on the side of the Gretchen. I would start moving them down to pressure this player that's in the backfield, because he can't charge you. His shuriken pistol probably isn't going to do anything, but 2 Ork boys with, I think that's 4 shots each, something could stick. If they don't, the Orks are probably going to get initiative on round 2, and you just charge into that point, and at that point, you've got victory points that the Harlequin player cannot stop. You probably have a dead model, and you're locking them out of the game. Because right now, the Harlequin player has 2 models that can do something. If you take one of those away, they're probably not going to commit the leader to do anything, and you're just turning off any form of like control that the Harlequin player could even muster if they wanted to.
All right, so it looks like we're seeing a shuriken pistol shot. That was long range obscured.
So who's charging where?
I don't think that was a
okay, so
charge. I think that was just a shot from the player with their shuriken
veteran
pistol.
100% got in there. Oh, okay. So this orc boy is charging in. So the orc player is doing the safe thing, and he's just gonna commit all of his boys to vaporize these poor Harlequins. Probably gonna like use his breath to just confuse them and then just punch him in the jaw. Little do they know, orcs have terrible breath. But I mean, think about it. So we've got the veteran charging. We've got this orc boy charging. We could this other orc boy knob charge the player in the middle. We've got 2 command points, so we could see this boss knob pivot into the combat specialist. So that means that we could see some pretty gross things happen here.
Yeah. And this is why I was saying earlier, when that kind of wall of orc boys and the veteran knob was over here, and he made that successful charge against him, why wouldn't you lock those 3 models down, keep them off the point?
I don't know. These are great questions to ask in the post-game interview.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I look at Kill Team in a weird perspective. My viewpoint is I just want to win, and I don't really care how. And generally, you can win Kill Team quite passively. So if I don't, because the thing is, like, dice are not consistent, but your ability to charge, your ability to deny motion and lock down characters is.
Yeah.
So I will always take the option of I'm going to remove your opportunity to do anything while I score victory points at the same time. And I don't have to rely on my dice to give me any kind of advantage in a given scenario. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that looks like a successful hit, but a failed wound.
I was like, I saw a 6, I saw a 3, I don't know. Okay, so this orc boy is shooting here. So let's see, 5s and 6s, nothing sticks. That guy's done. Pretty confident that's the shooting phase.
The leader had already shot down here. This orc boy down here.
Not much happening. They're yelling insults at each other across the field. Oh, he's just gonna he's just gonna take a shot at a -2.
I don't even think he has range or line of sight on any valid targets.
Oh, it's an 18-inch? Yeah,
yeah.
Can't do anything there. All right, so now is the time. Now is the time. We're going to see something happen. The question is what? Oh, decisive strike? Yep.
Oh, man.
Hoop, there it is.
Okay, veterans. This is going to go into that combat specialist, definitely.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Got that Mickey Mouse going on. All right, so he charged. So the knob has, what, 3 attacks?
Knob has got 3 attacks base, and then he's got +1 with just like the Choppa, which is just strength user AP 0. So these
oh my
are
gosh,
the
3 6s.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So this is with the big Choppa. So these will be wounding on 2s. Ooh, only 1. All right, 4-up invuln here.
All right, 4-up invuln fails. Oh my gosh.
You gotta CP that, right? You have to.
He's got to. Yeah, he just did.
There
All right,
it is.
Here we go.
So 1 attack remaining. This is with the Choppa. That's a
5
hit.
should go through. All right. Come on. This is nuts. A 6.
My gosh.
Oh my gosh. And he whiffs.
No.
Uh-oh.
Okay, 1 damage,
right.
Needing a
4 up.
4.
No!
Flesh
Saves. Survives. Oh my gosh. That was intense. That was scary. Huh. Because veterans have like what, +1 attack, +1 strength on the charge?
No, those are zealots. Veteran
That's right, that's zealots.
Yeah, veteran didn't have anything special. He's just a beast natively.
Monster man. All right, so it looks like the combat specialist is allocating wounds to orcs, which means we should see dead bodies. Wow, that was scary.
Ideally,
that was really scary.
Ideally, we're gonna see a lot of dead orcs here. Because, I mean, he's got, oh gosh, what was it? We did the math already. It was like 8 attacks that this combat spec has. Unfortunately, he's only going to be hitting on 4s here.
Oh, a 3 and a 1. No, that flesh wound mattered. Like I said, attrition,
Yep.
making
Yep.
them worse at the game. Okay, 2 go through. Let's see what happens.
That's 1 wound at
1
AP
wound into
1.
what?
So I think it just goes through regardless.
Is that the boss knob?
Oh no, boss has a 4-up save. Does not make it. Just 1 damage. So the boss knob is down to 1 wound remaining.
I think he's okay with that.
Yeah, right.
He's a boss knob. Oh my gosh.
Jeez,
Oh my gosh.
dude. These Harlequin dice are brutal.
Nani! Oh no!
Seriously.
Mr. Krabs, I'm feeling it now. All right, so I think the boss knob is going to punch into this. Well, he can't. So the orc boy is probably going to punch into the player that has the flesh wound, try and knock him out, so he can't do anything. And at that point, the Harlequins are staring down the long barrel of a double-barrel shotgun. Yep, here comes orc boy number 1. We'll call him Johnson. So, oh my gosh, those stick.
2 hits.
Oh
Wow.
Oh my gosh. All right, 2 saves, 4 up, 2
Makes
fails.
neither.
Mr. Krabs.
This model already
2.
has a flesh wound.
So he takes a second flesh wound. So for those who are watching who don't know how flesh wounds work, can you tell us why they're so painful to have multiple stack up on your character?
Yeah, so each time you take initially when you first take a flesh wound, it's going to be forcing that model to make a nerve test later on the morale phase. But as those stack up, your models get progressively worse at shooting and at hitting things. So a model with a 3-up. Oh, is it dead? Oh, it killed an orc.
Yep.
Okay. So despite
All right,
despite those flesh wounds, it was still able to pull one out.
Orc down. All right, so now we've got a boss knob who's raring to go.
Yeah.
I still think you lay into that combat specialist, because if you take him out, like, have fun, Merry Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying, the flesh wound, so it'll turn this Harlequin here, which natively has a 3-up weapon skill ballistic skill. It's got 2 flesh wounds on it, so that's going to be bringing those skills up to a 5 for both of those characteristics.
Oh, look at that. Look at that orc boy just... Okay, yep. So let's see what the injury roll is. Is there a dead...
Wow,
Yep,
that's
goodbye.
another dead Harlequin. Yeah.
Well, what can the Harlequin player do in this situation? They have
fight to the death.
Themselves.
Fight to the death.
So the orcs are definitely going to score domination and
Domination,
attrition.
hold more, thin their ranks. We're going to see another Max Stern here.
I think we're going to see another 6-point swing for the
Yeah.
orcs. Do you just concede at that point? Because
No, I fight to the death.
okay. Well, the boss knob hasn't gone.
Here's
quite
the
yet.
reason why.
Orc boy hasn't gone.
In this tournament, it's not just your win-loss ratio that determines how far you advance. It's also your total points. So if I'm the Harlequin player, I'm thinking, okay, how can I score the most points by the end of this game in order to put me in the best position to advance if
All right.
all
Orc
the
hits.
other...
Let's see if he saves. No, 1. All right, here we go. Flesh wound. If he rolls a 3-up, he's dead.
Oh,
Nope,
another
just the
flesh
second
wound.
flesh wound. Oh my lord, that combat specialist is not doing anything tonight. Just 5-up. Oh, boss knob's going in. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's not looking good.
this gonna be orky. All right, 2 attacks, 1 hits. Can he stick the wound? Yep. All right, 4-up, fails. He needs a 2 to kill. Just don't roll 1. Yep. GG, kids. That
Has the
combat
Harlequin
specialist is dead.
has the Harlequin player made any of the 4-up saves tonight?
Nope.
I don't think it
1.
has. I think it
1.
it made 1, and then the rest of the time it was just taking flesh wounds or getting killed. Yeah.
So bad news bears. Their army is now shaken or broken, whatever you want to call it. It's under half capacity.
Yeah. So they will have to take a break test.
That's rough, buddy. Oh my goodness. I mean, you really don't want to see games like this happen because it's just so oppressive. It's too bad. It really is. It does happen. All right. So Harlequin player is attacking. Looks like he got a hit.
No, I think that's the break test that they're doing right now.
Oh, they're already in the break test. Okay.
Yeah. So
is he rolling for shaken models?
So they must have broken that roll
Okay.
a few seconds ago.
Well, they rolled really high, so that's not good.
So the leader is shaken. The player on, I guess, the Harlequins' bottom left objective is not
shaken.
Yeah, that Harlequin in the middle is definitely going to be shaken.
Oof, that's not what you wanted to see, especially with all those bodies in the middle.
Actually, I don't think it is. Because it's just 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's not shaken.
If the Orcs score initiative here, it's
it's GG great. For sure.
Yeah. All right. So 12-3. Orcs are feeling themselves.
They really are.
They're feeling pretty good about tonight.
Yeah.
They brought Tom Brady to the game, and he's performing well.
Oh no, we don't talk about Tom Brady in a positive light on this channel. I'm sorry to break it to you.
At this point, the Gretchen can go sit on a point, and those two Orcs can just start moving in and committing atrocities on Harlequin territory.
Seriously.
Orcs roll 6. Harlequins roll 6. All right,
Ooh,
here we go.
Okay.
Reroll. Nani. Oh, okay. Orcs got it. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Sorry, Cotton. It's not looking too good for you there, mate. All right, so guess what? We're gonna see Orcs declare charges like you wouldn't believe, and re-roll dice to verify those charges. 8. Pretty confident he is within 8 inches. He's gonna measure. No, he just is. Yep. So this is kind of what I was saying. The Orcs can now charge, deny points, lock down the player, and the Harlequin player, unfortunately, is probably not going to get to do anything in the movement phase or the shooting phase. Not that the Orcs care, because everything's going to be in combat. And then the Orcs just kind of go, hey man, I heard you like victory points. How do you feel about that? All right, here comes the charge into the leader. Boom. Daka Daka. 8 inches again. So, yeah. That's what's happening here. All right, so we got 4. Going to reroll this charge to a 5.
Okay.
Don't think any of his guys can make that. Yeah, so it's a 7-inch charge. But that's okay. Because you're just going to sit on that point and soak victory points like a champion.
Wow. Just an absolutely dominant performance from the Orcs here.
Yeah, Orcs have lost, what, 2 models?
They've lost a model.
They've lost in the veteran. Ay caramba. That is oppressive.
Yeah. And
Right, so
I mean, a lot of it, to be fair, was just horrible dice for the Harlequin player.
The ammo runt is charged to add insult to injury. The ammo runt has charged the player.
Yeah, like the Harlequins, they've only made a single 4-up save, and I mean, even then, they could have rolled 50-50 with those saves, and the Orcs would still be in a similar position, and that's just because of the volume of attacks that this faction has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really funny, because when Orcs first came out, people were like, Orcs seem really bad in Kill Team, and I'm like,
yeah.
Wait, what? What? Why?
I mean, they've gone up a lot from their elite sub-factions. That's for sure, but I mean, that's happened with a lot of other factions as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. The leader is dead.
Yeah, he was shaken before, so... that flesh-wounded Orc boy is going into the player. We could see a wipe here. Fails to wound.
Did he just shoot the leader off the board?
No, I don't think so. The orc boy who charged him, who had charged the
Oh,
leader.
we're in the fight phase now. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The leader didn't. I didn't see a roll on his invulnerable save. Is there a
Yeah.
reason for that?
Let's see.
Because I saw the orc boy roll to hit, roll to
Read the
wound,
chat.
and then he just took the model off, and I'm like, did he skip his save for some reason? Oh, here comes the boss.
It looks
And
like he rolled 1-3. He looks like he rolled a 3 and a 5, and so he failed one of his invuln saves.
Oh, okay, got you.
Went to an injury roll and then he died.
Hey, that that player who's surrounded by a bunch of orcs rolled 2 5s, so he's safe. Watch him like not die here. He just
Yeah,
doesn't
right. Just to
care
add
anymore.
insult to injury, they're just gonna let him bleed out.
All right, ammo rent.
Just flesh wounded, flailing in the middle of the board.
All right, looks like he's allocating 1 attack to each model. It rolls a 1, not feeling good.
No,
Rolls 2, rolls a 3. So the 6 sticks. Can he wound? Yes.
that's a wound.
All right, orc boy.
Doesn't get a
Oh, no,
save
he's
because the AP
injury,
won
dead,
3 damage.
gone.
Now is when the big 3. Oh, he just takes him off the board. That's
Doesn't even
fair.
matter.
That's fair when you're rolling 3 damage.
All right, 5 sticks. Can he wound? 4
That's
sticks.
2 damage. Or excuse me,
All
this is
right.
the damage roll now. Just 1.
Damage. All right. Orc could get a t-shirt save. Oh no, he's got AP -1, so he's dead.
Right.
Where were these rolls earlier?
Dude, that's what the Harlequin player is saying to himself right now.
Yeah, I bet.
So he's
Oh
going
my
to
gosh.
consolidate onto the point.
And don't forget, that's with his 2 flesh wounds. He needs 5s to stick.
Yeah.
And that's the scary thing. Like with 2 flesh wounds, that Harlequin just ate 2 orcs, like casually. So
Yeah.
Rewind the game
this-
and imagine they don't have flesh wounds.
Right, right. This game definitely could have gone the other way very fast.
Oh yes, absolutely. Harlequins are great. Harlequins love orcs. They're like free meat. All right, Harlequin rolls a 2. That ain't gonna happen. Is this the end of the round? It looks
Yeah,
like
they're doing morale tests now. So that player on the middle objective is now shaken.
Ouch.
I think they had forgotten for this player to fight back into the orc, so they're resolving that now.
All right, that orc should be toasty.
Looks like it. That's a lot of hits. That is-
2 stick.
Yep.
1 sticks? Fails. Rolls for flesh wound. Rolls a 4. Dead. See you later, alligator. So within the course of a single round, the orcs did lose a significant amount of bodies, and
Yeah.
that's how the game can go for Harlequins if they don't get diced, unfortunately.
I don't think they're in danger of breaking here. But this game is going to go into round 4, assuming none of the Harlequins... I mean, this Harlequin player,
there's
I
only
think...
2 of them left, so...
Yes.
What-
Yeah. And one of them is shaken. I think this is the... And it auto-passed. Okay.
Hey, good on you.
So, Harlequin players can still get some points.
Yeah, so the orcs are going to score, what, 1, 2, 3. They killed a bunch of guys. They're in the center, so they're going to score 5 here. So they're going to go 17.
Harlequins score hold 1, thin their ranks, and attrition.
The orcs only missed scout the field.
Well, they also missed thin their ranks.
Oh, they didn't get in the ranks because they killed 1 guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, we only killed
Seriously.
1 dude.
They don't need
killed
it.
the leader.
They did score scout the field. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, they absolutely did. Because they got.
Are there?
Yeah. Oh,
were
yeah.
there 2 Harlequins killed this turn?
I thought so. Because they killed the leader and the combat specialist.
These 2. Oh yes, you're right.
All right, let's see who gets the initiative. I don't know if it matters. Orcs get the initiative. All right, so we're 100% going to see a charge here to lock that player down, and then they're probably going to charge the guy in the middle with the 2 flesh wounds, and then we go to fight phase because there's no shooting needed.
Well, this doesn't add up here for thin their ranks. for the Orks here. Because they took out 2 Harlequins turn 1. They must have taken out 1 in either last round or the other round. So they haven't maxed yet.
You are right. There's only 5 gone and 2 on the field, so they're up by 1.2 many.
Yeah.
All right, so Orks are going to charge. The Harlequin whiffs on Overwatch. The Ammo Runt is doing a lot of damage here with his charging. Very scary. Watch out for those. And this Orc here on the Gretchen side should charge the player to lock him out.
Yep.
This Orc here on the backfield that was taking the leader's point could abandon the point because he doesn't need it.
No.
He could actually try and like move.
He's already
reposition
maxed
to
the
middle.
primary. There's no reason to be.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he's even moving the Gretchen.
I mean,
it's
what
like
does it matter?
Well,
This
I
is
guess
round
it's
4. Can't kill him.
Yeah, but it's like you're kind of, you're not really exposing him, but it's just needless movement because you've already maxed your primary. Your opponent has no hope of scoring hold more than you.
Oh no.
That Harlequin player is going to declare a charge on everything within 18 inches of this board. That's the only thing it can do.
He's going to declare charging against the commentators at this point. Like,
yeah.
Let
me at him.
We get Overwatch? Yeah.
Let me at him.
No, I didn't do it.
I mean, I don't know about you. I keep that thing on me at all times, so I do get Overwatch.
Oy vey. Yeah, it's a weird situation because even if the Harlequins just vaporized everyone, like they god roll, everything hits, everything sticks, they cannot come back from a 6-7. Technically it's 17. They're up by 1 too many on Scout the Field, but you can't collapse that many points. It's not possible in one round because the max you can get is 6, right? 3 primary, 3 secondary.
Yeah. That's all
but
they
the
can
problem
get here,
is
even with the cut off the head.
Right, but they don't have 3 models to score 3 points.
Yeah.
So the max they could score is 5. They're not getting to the Gretchen, so they can't score. Like, this is one of those things I was talking about with control and math. Like, you can obviously the game is mathematically impossible for the Harlequin to win, but now it's like, what is the maximum amount of victory points you could possibly score? And
Yeah.
with 2 models, it's so low. It's really bad. Oh, looks like the one of the Orks just decided to. I don't know where he is.
So this
Guy who's like, oh, he's underneath the building. Hi, guy.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy, but I believe it's still possible for the Harlequins to force the Orks into a break test. If that
Does it matter at the end of round 4? The game's over at round 4, right?
No, it doesn't, but if it... Yeah, I don't need... Yeah. Well, actually it does, because if he's able to break the Orks, and if he's able to break the Orks and make the entire enemy team shake, then he'll be able to score hold more by default and net 3 victory points there on the primary. But it doesn't look like he's charged that Harlequin. He's just keeping him on the point there and is going to exchange fire with these Orks.
Mm-hmm. All right, so are we in the shooting phase now? Yeah, looks like we're just putting shots into him at this point.
Yeah. No
All right.
hits, I don't think.
I think he needs 6s to stick on that
Yeah.
guy. Did the Harlequin player choose not to move? Oh, I guess we're going to combat. So, Boss Knob, Punchinating. Let's see if he lands these. One of them sticks. All right, good luck, Harley. Can you do it? Nope, one of them fails. He needs a not 1 to vaporize him, so don't roll a 1 here, buddy. Hey!
Yep.
Guess who's dead? Shocking. All right, there is one Harlequin left on the table. Can Sergeant Johnson pull it out?
Oh, it says you got DC'd. We'll get you back in here in a second.
Oh, that's fine. I can get back in here. I'm assuming the game is probably on the tail end of wrapping anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Nice thing is with a stream like this, I can keep an eye on it while I figure out what's going on here. Hey there, internet. All right, guess who's back? Shady's back. Tell a friend. Well, I know what we're watching didn't turn out the way the Harlequin player wanted, but I think they did absolutely showcase the power of Harlequins in that one attack
explosion
round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because it's really easy to watch a VOD like this and go, oh, Harlequins are terrible, Orks are great, I'm just not going to play Harlequins. Well, that is not the case. There were some very, very bad dice, and unfortunately, it just collapsed and snowballed into a rough game. But we did get to showcase, that's it. Harlequin players.
All right, I'm actually
Flip
going
it to the table.
We actually need that, though. Where was it?
You have to rewatch the VOD.
Yeah,
because you're gonna definitely loop if you try and like rewind. For TTS.
I'm trying to.
I'm surprised it didn't lock table flips. So you can't.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do that. This is the second time this week that's happened, so we're gonna. Yeah, I forgot how to revert.
So it's only the host can do it. So Evils is the only one who can go backwards in time.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna.
That's why the host needs to be the streamer, so they can control that environment. If somebody flips a table and you're like, oh no, wait, ah. Especially since you're using a victory point as a style of MOV for like tiebreakers, that's pretty important. Well, oh look, Sienta boy's pointy ears, guts. Oh, Orks.
There we go. All right.
Yay. All right.
All right. So let's go and hop over into the Discord channel that our players are in, and we can talk to them about their postgame.
Yeah, sounds great. Ryan's on the way. There's Ryan. All right. We've got questions, and you've got answers.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So, where to begin with this?
I mean, I've got some questions I can throw.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So let's talk about setup. I think that's one of the most critical parts of any war game is your positioning and your preparation. Can you guys talk a little bit about what was going on in your head when you saw the secondary objectives, you saw the board, and you began to place models in preparation for, what you were hoping to be a victory?
Sure. Adam can go first.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of had a plan ahead of time where I wanted my models, depending on which side I ended up on. Honestly, I was so mentally tied to that I didn't actually really set myself up perfectly for Scout the Field at the beginning, so I had to sort of jump out of the window there. But, I mean, for me, it's maybe more important to be ready for turn 2 than scoring on turn 1. It did work out that I scored everything on turn 1, but I didn't, foresee that happening for sure.
And for me, I was fully expecting him to be reserving his demo to just roast my leader turn 1. So my original plan was I had a bare bones player back here, my leader over here, and I would leave one spot open. He could drop here with an outflank, or when I moved up the embraces here and here, it would push him to drop either here or there. So he'd have 3 spots where he could outflank and hit my players. and I was trying to set it up because I had done it a bunch before we played to figure out where I could drop my guys. I was going to set it up so he only had one shot on my guys. Like he couldn't have two guys within his 8-inch range. And I was going to then fire and fade and move whoever was in that flamer range away after they shot at him. But he didn't reserve, and then I was a little bit. I wasn't really sure. I was thinking about doing the vet move, and after seeing how the game went, I feel like I definitely should have. But at the time, I wanted to save the TP just in case I needed to fire and fade, drop out of that range, because I knew he'd be advancing up, and I wanted to do the trickery and deception so that he wouldn't potentially kill my guy before he could get his attacks off.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize you could advance off the trickery and deception.
Oh, how do you mean advance off the trickery and deception?
Like, can't you advance with trickery and deception afterwards? One of my buddies sent me a message halfway through and said, "Why didn't you advance?" Oh, no, with the fire and fade. Sorry.
Oh,
when I faded out of his flamer range, I should have advanced and moved a little bit further.
Okay.
And not put him through split shots on both of them with his shooter.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
Right. So the next question I have is the Harlequin player took the cut off the head, and I wanted to ask both of you, since the Orc player did not know that. So for the Orc player, did you anticipate it? And for the Harlequin player, how are you trying to set up that scenario where you could get to the leader quickly and hopefully score a big burst of victory points early in the game?
To get that, go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh.
I mean, as far as like, did I expect it? Like, it's one of those things. With this many bodies, I don't expect someone to try to jump in and get my little mini grot with his stupid commissar helmet, unless they have done like the webway type of thing. Like if they're trying to deep strike, I'll know because they will have put pieces in reserve. At which point, you just sort of advance a moving, rolling fence of orcs in front of you, and
yeah.
The ability of him to get past them and into that tiny grot hiding behind a huge scenery is almost none. So, whether or not he had it or not, it's not something I necessarily was like looking for, but usually I only worry about that when someone puts reserve, like racks in reserve or webway type stuff.
All right.
And for me, I took cut off the head because I didn't have enough models to really score scout the field. Recon's combination I definitely did because I knew he was going to pile everybody into the center, and unless I got really lucky and just killed a bunch, I wasn't going to be scoring it or denying it. So I took cut off the head, and I think the biggest mistake I made was not vet moving.
Yeah.
I set up the veteran there thinking like, wow, he put down his leader first turn. I'll set it up with the smallest distance possible and then hopefully roll decent on my advance. But I'm not really sure what was going on.
I mean, the vet move, I really will say that the vet move I would have responded with a decisive move and just charged one of those orc boys into it and just tied him up. Which for me is a good exchange because you're tying up a veteran, like a specialist, with just a 6-point model. So.
Yeah. And at that point,
leaving me to sell the 1 CP I would want that first turn for Daka Daka.
Yeah. So I guess question for both of you. At the end of turn 2, there was kind of just like a trio of orcs lining up on this wall here, and the Harlequins were able to roll a good enough charge that they would be able to have gotten in with all 3 of those models. How do you guys think the game would have gone if that had happened instead of the Harlequin just getting stuck in combat over here?
I think the main reasoning behind that is because it's really hard for me. Well, it shouldn't be really hard, but I had a very hard time. I knew that if I didn't take that Scorcha out, he had enough guys piled in that he was likely to kill my players anyways. And if that Scorcha got out of combat, it would just wreak havoc the rest of the game.
Okay.
So I thought, I'll put both these guys here just in case one doesn't kill him. So my
Okay.
plan,
I don't know. I think
what I really wanted to do was I was hoping he wouldn't decisive strike. I knew he would, but had he not decisive
Yeah.
strike, the player up here with the embrace would have put all of its attacks into the Scorcha, and then if I killed it, well, if I killed it or not, I would have up and atomed with the combat,
Right.
and had him go drop right there and put 3, 3, and 2,
Okay.
and try and wipe out all of them.
Yeah, makes sense. Unfortunately for you, it did not work out that way, but it was a good game, man. The dice were absolutely dreadful
Dice
for the
brutal.
Harlequins. I think the Harlequins only ever made a single 4-up save.
Yeah.
I mean, like, wind it back, and this game could have gone either way. So congrats for both of you guys for making it this far in the tournament. Both of you guys were 3-0 before this game.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you for allowing us to stream it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, of course.
Before we go, I'm not sure that the Orks were able to max thin their ranks. I'm not sure about that.
Well, I was getting a little confused about what was killed.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
believe.
okay, no, I can't have. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no.
If this is how it was playing out, I did not get to here, so of course.
Yeah, it was. I know that going into top of turn 4, these were all the models, and we knew that you definitely had not killed 3 in one turn, and so it's like, okay, this makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That was it was one of those, like, I was asking him more than I knew myself. So.
Yeah, no worries. All right. So final score is 17-6. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys for playing and allowing us to stream. Thank you to everybody who is watching the stream, and we will see you all again.